And welcome back, and a fantastic interview out there at the pre-season launch, which was held on Wednesday night out at Buckley's. Very exciting times indeed coming up for season 2010. Well, it's on this afternoon, the 94.7 match of the round. The big one this afternoon, it's out at the Ring Road Recreation Reserve. It's the Belpost Hill Panthers, and they take on the Winchelsea Blues. There's a lot of talk around town about Winchelsea Blues, how much they've improved for this year. Brett Gregic takes over, or Grugic, whichever school he went to. I always known him as Brett Gregic, has taken over as coach of the Belpost Hill Panthers. And Dale, I guess they're looking to make atones for their loss in the grand final last year.
Yeah, look, they've been there a couple of times, Dick, and I suppose they're not too far away. Jason mentioned Jovanovic will go across there. There's a few other good pickups coming through that side. I think, look, they don't have to go out and recruit a lot of players to their side. They're going to be fairly strong through the midfield again. Sean Lewis is on. You know, Travis Furzan, I think, was a good player. Carter was good through the wings and that. Jovanovic's a bloke that's probably your roughie for the side, I reckon, because he can go forward and play backwards, and as much as he doesn't like it, he can probably have a stint in the ruck. But whether that's their options for him, I'm not too sure. But he'll fill up a good hole at centre-half forward if they need that marking target, so it allows Casina to go back and play in the back line where I think he plays his better football. The interesting thing for me, from my point of view, will be just to see how Winchelsea actually turns up. They've recruited pretty extensively through the GDFL, I believe, and some young kids come out of South Barwon and the likes. Dave Kennedy, I think, has come down from Werribee Central. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. We didn't see them at all last year, which, for whatever reason, they weren't in the mix last year for the best games. But I think they're going to make a big step forward this year, Dick, and I'm looking forward to the contest. Jason,
first game and first day in the commentary box for 2010. Winchelsea, have they improved, do you think, for this year?
Look, I think they finished the season well last year. They pushed a couple of the top sides. They won a few games towards the end of the year. So I think, as Dale said, they've recruited some young guys. Andrew Leake's gone back there as well, a player who's been at Winchelsea before, and have picked up some younger players. And with David Kennedy, a bit of experience as well. But Belpost Hill at home are going to be, I mean, it's always more difficult at home anyway, but I think they've got the likes of Andrew Venner, who's going to be there as well. There's some word around that Brent's going to play in the back line himself, so that'll be interesting to see if he does start down back. But I just think that they might have too many guns to start with, and they will be hurting after losing a couple of grand finals. So I think it will be full steam ahead for the Panthers.
Wade Bowes' body, mate, how do you think it'll stand up?
Look, he could probably just stand in the square and kick goals if he needs to. I don't know whether they're going to play him, further up the field or how they're going to use him, but I would think that they've probably got enough tools around the ground to be able to use him, in spurts if they need to, and up forward, and they're going to be able to move, as you said, Jovanovic back and forward, Gergic back and forward, Venner up forward if he needs to kick goals. So they're going to have plenty of avenues to goal. So I think they're going to be. It'll be interesting to see how they go against some of the better sides. Winchelsea will go okay, and they'll probably be middle of the road, but I think Belpost will start well today.
So Belpost Hill for Jason and Belpost Hill for you, Dale?
Yeah, at home, definitely, yeah, with the start of the season, I think so, Dick.
Yeah, Belpost Hill for me. We do expect big improvements out of the Winchelsea for sure. Out at the Happy Hawks hunting ground, out at Inverleigh Hawks, they take on the Geelong West Sporting Club, and of course, they will now have a full year, we guess, out at the Church Street Oval. Fantastic for them, and they've got a new coach out there, and Chris Cullen takes over the role out there. Dale, do you know much about this bloke?
I saw him play at East Geelong. I think he was at East Geelong. He was also at St Albans, so he's been around the football world. He knows a bit about it. Comes from Forest from last year. Evidently taken a couple of players with him. The two Tellerico boys from under 18s at Bell Park, who played seniors or on verge of senior football last year. They'll be very handy pickups for them. But I think Inverleigh could be the big improvers this year, along with Winchelsea. Inverleigh have got Toby Prendergast back, Jason Quinlivan, Meeks back in that fold, so he gives them an option to go into the ruck to give their Jimmy Hymans a spell. They've Big O's still up in the forward line. I went and watched the pre-season game, and I think at one stage they were playing Creswell. It was 100 points to nil at three-quarter time, so they were going along pretty well. But Toby Prendergast, I watched him, and he moved pretty sweetly across the ground. He kicks the ball a long way. They've got a good structure through their back line. I don't think that's going to be their big downfall. They'll just need to get Jace Kelly up and running, and he looked in pretty good nick the other day. Clayton Trotter, well, he just keeps going, Dick. So they'll be fairly strong. Inverleigh going to be pretty hard to beat at home. And I just think with those other 2 or 3 inclusions they've had from last year, they just verged to the top 5 last year, they'll definitely push top 3 or 4 this year without any trouble.
Jason, irrespective of your allegiances in local footy, I think everybody associated with GDFL would love to see Geelong West have a great year this year. They've well and truly deserved one after many years down the bottom of the ladder. But unfortunately, coming over as Inverleigh, they're probably one of the flag favourites this stage of the year.
Well, I think Geelong West have done well in getting Chris Cullen. He's proven himself at GFL level as a player. He was assistant coach at East Geelong, so he's got a bit of experience there. He's picked up a few players, as Dale said, bought some players with him, and also has recruited pretty well. And you know, they need to make steps now. They've basically got what they need, so they need to actually get going and win some games this year. But Inverleigh, I think the time is right. They've last year they were knocking on the door of the 5, and they were just about there. They haven't really lost anybody. They've picked up a couple of blokes from Belmont Lions as well. Their ex-coach Matt Murphy, Marcus Forbes is there as well. It's basically stand up and be counted this year, or else they'll probably lose, you know, a dozen players if they can't make the finals. They really need to make a statement this year. And with those younger guys coming back to Inverleigh, who started there, the Quinn Livens and the Prendergast and blokes like that, they are going to be in the mix. There's no doubt about that. But they need to start the season well. They need to make a bit of a statement. I think they need to beat the sides like Geelong West pretty convincingly. I think they will. And you know, it's good for the Bannockburn-Inverleigh match-up when they finally get together. For Bannockburn's always been pretty strong out there against Inverleigh, but I think the Hawks are coming.
Lockie Hill comes back too, Dick, from South Bowen here here and there. He's had trouble with his shoulders, so that's probably there. He's only a concern. He's a great young kid. We watched him play junior football the year before at under 18 level, and he played some senior games, and he can play football. So he's another handy acquisition to them, and another young kid at about 6'2" or 3", so very handy.
And of course, East Geelong out at the Kevin O'Leary Oval, they take on Anakie, and they were defending their flag last year, East Geelong Eagles, and Anakie under the coaching, the coaching watching eye of Daryl Bissett. That's strange, never seen him out at Anakie before. How do you reckon Bissett will go, Jace?
Well, I mean, he's been there for many years, on and off, coaching, playing. He's obviously a legend of the club and has come back to give them some stability and recruit some players and try and get them back up the ladder. It's unfortunately a tough initiation, I think, this afternoon, because they're facing the reigning premiers who are looking the goods, and I'm sure we'll talk shortly about Ricky O'Toole, about his inclusion. They've picked up some other players. They've lost a few as well, East Geelong, but have probably kept their spine and their better players, and I think they will be too strong.
What do you reckon, Dale?
Yeah, no, look, I tend to agree. It's the Corio Anakie Football Club's on the move again, with Kane Hayes going back out to there, or not going back again, but going out. I think Scotty Verner's going back out for a second try. Ricky Lazarich is going back. You know, these are good quality players that they're picking up, Dick, but, you know, they need to make sure that the other blokes that are coming along for the ride are there to play football. And probably if they let themselves down a little bit, it's in their discipline area, and I think Daryl, if he can sort that out with them, and it's probably, you know, bit during the week and also definitely game day. So, look, he'll straighten them out. He's a good bloke to take the mantle of the job. Obviously, it was pretty hard for him. He went out there to actually try and appoint somebody, I think, and landed the job himself. So well done, Daryl. Hope you have a good year, but I just think the task at East Geelong first up will be tough.
Indeed. Well, don't forget, folks, this afternoon, 94.7 The Pulse, match of the day, Belpost Hill and Winchelsea. Look forward to that game. We're going to pay some bills, and we're going to be right back after this.